How strong are the 5 Admirals in One Piece? So the 5 Admirals consist of Aokiji, Kizaru, Akainu, Green Bull, and Fujitora. So let's start off by Akainu. Akainu ate the Magma Devil Fruit, which grants him the ability to use Magma, and it is a Logia type. It is also stated that Akainu's Devil Fruit is the best when it comes to attacking. Akainu also became the Fleet Admiral during the time skip by beating Kuzan, who is one of the strongest characters in One Piece. The only thing that was bad is Akainu took 10 days to beat Kuzan despite having a big advantage since he had lava and Kuzan had ice. Akainu was also able to go toe to toe with Whitebeard and damage his face in Marineford. I knew Whitebeard was a lot stronger, but Akainu was still able to damage him, which is a pretty impressive feat since Whitebeard was the strongest man at the time and all the Marines were scared of him. I knew Whitebeard was not at his prime and he was very sick. It is still very impressive to go toe to toe with Whitebeard, who was the strongest Yonko. I genuinely believe he's stronger than Big Mom and maybe even Kaido, since it was stated multiple times that Big Mom and Kaido were around equal in terms of power, so it wouldn't be too far off saying that Akainu can beat Kaido. Kaido can beat Akainu if Akainu did not get a major power up during the time skip. He is the strongest admiral out of all 5. I mean, we're not using Garp and Sengoku for this. Alright, let's talk about how strong is Kizaru. Kizaru ate the Glint fruit, which grants him the ability to turn into light and move and attack at the speed of light, which is one of the best abilities. He was also able to overpower Luffy in Gear 4, who was able to go head to head with Kaido. In my opinion, the only admirals that can be considered Yonko level are Kuzan, Akainu, and Kizaru. Well, I would say Kizaru is around Yonko level, and I think he's definitely relative to Aokiji and Akainu in terms of fighting. Alright, so let's move on to Aokiji, who ate the Devil Fruit that grants him the ability to use ice. Aokiji is one of the strongest characters in One Piece since he was able to go 10 days against Akainu despite having a big disadvantage. He might be stronger than Green Bull and Fujitora, even though Flamingo was terrified of Aokiji when he pulled up to save Smoker in Punk Hazard. Not to mention that he one-tapped Cracker when he went to Whole Cake Island to capture Pudding. Alright, so let's move on to Fujitora. Fujitora ate the Zushi Nomi Devil Fruit that grants him the ability to control gravity and summon meteors. Back in Dressrosa, he was able to lift up everything on the island and form a gigantic meteor. It was kind of similar to Pain's planetary devastation. He was only seen in Dressrosa, so he does have very less screen time and a lot of his abilities are unknown. So I would say that he could mid-diff someone like Zoro. He is also one of the best observation haki user since he is able to dodge fast attacks despite being blind and locate meteors from outer space. Alright, so let's move on to the last admiral, who is Green Bull. Green Bull made his first appearance in Wano when he pulled up to defeat Luffy while he was recovering from the fight with Kaido. He did it all just to get a praise from his Magma King Akainu. It is true that Green Bull was able to defeat King and Queen quite easily while they were recovering from the fight with Zoro and Sanji. I'm pretty sure he would have been able to defeat him quite easily even if they had all their powers, since he stated that it would be quite embarrassing to lose to Yonko commanders. He was also able to outpower Akazaya 9, but he was struggling against Yamato, who put up a decent fight against Kaido, who was most likely stronger than someone like King or Sanji. I mean, he would have been able to defeat Yamato, but Shanks and his crew pulled up to the land of Wano. Green Bull was terrified of Shanks' Bluetooth Conqueror's haki. It looked like Shanks was by far stronger than Green Bull. You know, I would say Green Bull does not stand a chance against any Emperor of the Sea. He was scared of both Shanks and Kaido, so you could say that he's not Yonko level. And not to mention that Big Mom has fire, so it would be very hard to defeat her. And Blackbeard is just too overpowered, so I doubt he would have been able to defeat Blackbeard alone. He can mid-diff someone like Zoro and maybe even King together, so it just puts him around low admiral level. So he just scales around Fujitora. He hasn't gone all out so far, so you can't really tell how strong he is.